Hope y'all are having a wonderful day and welcome to the stream. My name is Grindhead Jim, if you didn't know, and if you did know, you know that much more. I don't know. I'm working on it. Anyhow, it was a nice weekend. It's a long weekend here in the States because today is Juneteenth, and I'm grateful that we finally have that as a holiday. But I also want to just real quick catch up with everybody in chat and then tell you kind of what's going on around here. So I see a Jesse Hughes who has the day off. That's awesome. Bill Wifta, aka Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures, and if you're not following that YouTube channel and the Facebook page and everything else, what are you doing with your life? Go look him up. Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. Bill is the man. Love that guy. Bjorn Jorgensen's here. As I said, Jesse Hughes is here, dropping some knowledge about Patreon and Discord and stuff like that, which is great. And saying to like, which is good. Please do that. Thank you so much. Jim Largo's here. Kieran Ball's here. Hello, sir. Joe DeBecky says, greetings from 60 miles an hour. We're traveling. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious shit. Gojatron's here, slacking off. Just kidding. Boba Hicks is here. And I want to publicly thank Boba Hicks for becoming part of our patrons and looking forward to interacting in that space with him as well. Thank you for being here, my friend. And Bjorn Jorgensen is here dropping some, well, you know, Daniel Carnahan. I see, I got it right the first time. I always get it wrong now. But Daniel's here. Good to see you as always, my friend. Good to see you. I see Ian Sweeney. I see World Made of Cardboard. A World Made of Cardboard. Yes, very structurally impractical, but what a dream. What a dream. Keith Knight is here. Keith, what's up, mate? How you doing? Good to see you, my friend. And I think that's everybody for now. So, over the weekend, I got a lot of relaxation done. I got a lot of prep work, and I got some shooting done. I have more to do, and I have more editing to do. So, because I'm not sure what I'm going to put out as the video this week, I am 90% sure on what I'm putting out. But depending upon how things go in the next day or so, I might change my mind because I've got a couple things in the hopper. So I will not be showing off a title card today, and because one of those videos are a massive unboxing of many things, I am not going to be showing off any hauls this week, except for one thing. So I'm going to get that out of the way right away. So I'm going to show that right now, and that would be this guy. I got myself a water cooler. I cannot recommend this enough if you have the means. If you're a Costco member like myself, you get the cooler for nothing. They don't charge you anything for rent. You're only buying water. And I did the math, and the 5-gallon bottles represent a big value over buying that particular brand, which I like. You can get, cheaper brands, which are much less expensive, but you get hot, like really good hot, clean water and really good cold, clean water, which is great. Because before I was carrying around like these gallon jugs of water, and I would have to stack like, 12 of them at a time in my room. I know that seems like such a menial thing to a lot of you, but I like my clean water, and the city water here ain't great. So if you have the means or you have the inclination, please get one. That was taken the day that I got it. I have the same bottle on there now, which is almost empty, which means I've drank almost 5 gallons of water in less than 3 days' time. Go me. I'm very happy about that. I had to show you something, and it was a thing, so there you go. That's my haul. That's my haul. Jesse's like, "Where are the fish?" There's no fish in that water bottle. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Jason Garcia is here, from what I understand. Let me scroll up. You guys are active today. It's awesome. Okay, there's Jason. Okay. Kieran Ball says, either my eyesight has improved or is Jim gone HD? Your eyesight might be getting better, but with my internet connection being what it is, I've raised my frame rate and my bit rate a little bit to make things look that much smoother around these parts. And on the last few videos in particular, I am uploading up all the way up to 1080p to give you options. So this should be quite a bit better for you there. So I hope that it's working out well. Let me know what you think. We're currently trying 48 frames per second, and I believe the frame rate on StreamYard is 30, but I'm trying to give it more data than it needs so that there's less shimmer. That's the plan. So if it looks good, that's great. I see Ben Stutley. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. And Will McLaughlin's here too. Hope y'all have a majestic day. I see what you said there. I see what you did there. I see what you did. Yeah, those big bottles of water, like they're not as heavy. Bill asked if I've changed the water bottle. No, I have about this much left, which of course means that there's still some in the tank. So you're always about this much ahead of a bottle. So I figure by midday tomorrow I'll have to change the bottle. But at 5 gallons, plus I'm aggressively drinking water as well, so that's part of it too. And again, for the money, definitely worth it for me. Plus, because it's a service, they bring it right to your door. And the young man that brought me the everything, he set it all up and took the box away and brought the water in, was very, very kind. Well worth what little extra money I'm spending, in my opinion. So, plus, and this is something that I know it seems weird, but when I would order multiple gallons of water through with my grocery deliveries, they charge you an extra fee because it's a heavy thing. So I did the math on how much that was costing me a month. I'm spending less on the delivery fee for the water. So it all works out to be a cost savings and better water for me. Dear Margo says he loves my furry face as the beard is on point today. Nothing could be further from the truth. My beard is in shambles today, but thank you so much. Yes, we should all hydrate. I have my water here. Where's your water? The Epic Badger says, growing up, I had a pet crawdad, kept him in a fish tank. He was awesome. Released him a year later. I imagine he became the king of the lake. I'm certain that he is a monarch to this day. Bill says, someday I hope to be able to stream as well as me. A lot of that is internet connection. And if you have a good internet connection at home and you're not sure why things are like pixelating on you, get at me one of these nights. I'll walk you through all the things you need to know. It's not difficult once you know what buttons to push. So I'll be happy to help. Kieran Ball says, is it still a water cooler moment when it's about a water cooler? Yes. When I told all my friends about the water cooler, I just sent them a picture. I said, let the gossip begin. I joked with my boss. I said, I can gossip now at work. And she's like, oh my God, we need to get you out of the house. Not wrong. I think anyone could grab one in each hand if there's a handle, but carrying it for distances is like, that's a whole other thing. And yes, well, Bill's last stream was a lot of fun, and very, very heartfelt, and I was grateful to be a part of it. If you haven't caught it, Go check it out, because it starts off one way and ends up somewhere else and alludes to something I may be talking about later today. You don't know. You don't know. No, Kieran, while this is not as good as it gets, it can only get better, but thank you for the sentiment all the same. Now that we've gone through the pleasantries and we've seen what we're doing, I have one more thing I want to bring up to you guys. If any of you at home have a PC or an Xbox from either the last generation, the Xbox One, or the current one, or a PlayStation, and you have either the Game Pass for Xbox, which is like $1, or the PlayStation Plus Premium. I happen to have both because I found ways to extend those for long periods of time. In my downtime, I've been playing a game called Guardians of the Galaxy. It is based on the Marvel property, but it's not related to the film. It's more based on the comic, and it's kind of a hybrid of the comic sensibilities, a little bit of the tone from the movie, and its own kind of thing design-wise. And it's a lot of fun. I've described it as Mass Effect Light, because it has a lot of like group combat, and you're doing all this fun stuff, and there's contextual things you got to do with the dialogue and stuff. And I've been having a blast with that game. And tonight, as a reward to myself for cleaning up the place later on, I'm going to be finishing out that game, hopefully. And the reason I bring up those services is that it's free with those services. So if you already have those services, download that thing and play it, you comic fan. It's a lot of fun, and I don't really have like a place in the show where I talk about games, and I don't play games in a varied sense all that often. But I want to throw that out there to any of you that might have some interest. It is worth your time, even if you are not a big video game player, but you have the access to the console or the PC. Worth it, because you can dial down the difficulty to where it's more about the story, and it's a really good story. It's really good. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Now, we're going to get into the news. So, hi, Paula. So, news. Let's get into the news. Comixology was bought out by Amazon quite a while ago, and Amazon integrated them into their Kindle system, which on its head seems fine. However, it didn't do so great, and they know it's broken. I was just talking about this with some folks, and it's not fun. It's not a fun experience, and I want to call this out because last week they were saying that like we know and we're working on it. So I'm not going to read all of this to you, but it basically says that they're looking to put out a new beta version of the web reading, so it's going to be closer to what it was with some new interesting features on it. You'll also be able to filter the library inside the Kindle app to hide or show your comics, whether you're just looking for comics or if you're trying to hide them from something or whatever. And that's going to be available pretty soon. Talking about searching and some problems with that, and they're saying we'll start with from the Amazon side of the house to make life easier, but we're working on fixing it in app. For new releases, they've fixed an issue where like there's a bunch of publishers, like 90 of them, that weren't showing up. They're fixing that. They're also doing a new section with new releases and doing alphabetical order and making life just generally easier, right? There's going to be more improvements to be able to get to comics that are on sale. UK folks are going to be able to make a purchase or borrow a book, because that's something that you can do with Amazon Prime. They're trying to make things a lot more user friendly. They're not just restoring the old features, but they're bringing in some new stuff as well. So, and they've got more to talk about. This is really important to me. So for moi, this is a big deal because I do read comics fairly regularly on that site. So for those of you that use it, for those of you that are interested, Comixology is definitely on the mend. Definitely on the mend. So, and if you're not already using it, it sounds like it'd be a worthwhile thing for well. Bjorn's like, you need a news sound effect button. Yeah, I was thinking about doing stuff like that, and I have the means to do all that stuff. I'm just not there yet. Bill, Agoraphobic Nosebleed is no joke of a band, even though the name is pretty absurd. It's meant to be absurd. But that band is, it's out there. It's out there. It's a fun band, though. I wouldn't recommend it for you or Paula. That's for damn sure. I wouldn't recommend it for most people, frankly, but I love them to death. This is like the third one of this shirt that I've owned. As you guys know, like I have favorite shirts, and when they start to get holes in them, I buy more of them. Sometimes I buy two, sometimes I buy three. You never know. It's it's fun. Jim Largo asks, "Can you show an image of the new Trident Studios Secret Origins mini comic that Bill mentioned?" I will try to find it. Yes, I will try to find it later in the show. Please remind me after the news that because I have a lot to go over today. And yes, Comixology has gone downhill with Amazon, and they're trying to fix it. And Bill was like, I'm old school, use a comic reader and CBR files. I do too. I have a pretty big collection of those. And, you know, I have I have some hard copies of comic books that I enjoy reading, especially since I finally got new glasses after 9 freaking years plus. No, I got them this year, so 13 years almost, 12, 13 years. I have the same glasses and I have new glasses I read now. But you, I like comics because I have a big monitors. All these monitors are 27-inch, so and they're only you know this far from my face, so it's a good reading distance for me. I don't use tablets. I don't use phones. I use my computer, and because it's included in my membership, and an additional like $2 I get to borrow comics, I get to fill in blanks and stuff. For me, it's a good experience, and for those that haven't been collecting digitally or physically for a while, it's a good place to jump back in. So I would recommend checking it out if you have the time and the means to do so. But that's all I have to say about Comixology for now. We have more news to go over. First, contributed by Mr. Gogatron himself, there's some new Godzilla toys on the horizon, and they're from Super 7. But don't let that fool you. They are some pretty good looking toys. These are 3 3/4 inch reaction figures. We've got two different Godzillas here. We've got a Jet Jaguar, and we got Mecha Godzilla, a Rodan Godzilla, and Mothra. This is a nice little lineup. I haven't seen them up for pre-order yet. Last I checked, the packages are amazing. They're very, 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 very nice. You've got the 54 and the 57. So you've got two slightly different versions of Godzilla. Regular old Mecha Godzilla, Jet Jaguar, Mothra, and Rodan. Now, with this, uh, I find it curious. Like, if you're going to go to the trouble of showing me Jet Jaguar and the 57 Godzilla, where's Megalon? Where's Gigan? Because if you got Jet Jaguar, you need those other two guys. Um, those are my two big, like, at the very least, show me Gigan. Show me Gigan! And a little King Ghidorah actually wouldn't be unwelcome either. But I think it's the right, I think it's the right vibe. Okay. I don't know what the prices are going to be like. Knowing the reaction figures are probably going to be $15 or more, which is a bit much. I wish they were cheaper, but that's kind of my whole thing with reaction in the first place. When I reviewed the Scum figures last week, their price point wasn't awful, um, but I still think they should be less expensive. I think $10 would be a reasonable ask for people at this point. And RC's like 18 each, $108 for all of them. Jeez, $18 confirmed again. That's fair. Jesse, I got that through Discord. Thank you very much, sir. I will check. Thank you so much. Look at you being on the ball and shit. But they're fun. They look like great little figures, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I have no interest in them. I just have very little interest in them at that price point. And Melvor's got a good point here. The reaction Kenner Alien was really good. Was not wrong. Not wrong. I am the ball, says the Epic Badger, and he's not wrong. I think these are good looking figures, but again, for the price, it's questionable. It's questionable. Um, but that said, let's keep going. Now, I don't know who these are for. These are Legendary Films Monsterverse figures that transform. They transform. Why? Literally, no one wants cybernetic Godzilla or cybernetic King Kong. I mean, they look cool. It's an interesting idea, but who are these for? They are not for me. I don't want them. I don't like them, but these exist. So when you see these on the store shelves, and if you're remotely interested, just wait. They'll go on clearance before you know. Jason Garcia postulates they are leftover prototypes from when Cyber Godzilla was still part of Godzilla vs. Kong. You mean Mecha Godzilla? Ghost Girl's like, they're for me because they're stupid. I mean, yeah, there's a certain degree of silliness factor that does appeal. But it's not something that I'm gonna be messing with anytime soon. So Melvor has an interesting take on this. He's saying transforming Godzilla equals Triptychon. I mean, maybe. I mean, maybe. I mean, kind of see it, I suppose. Maybe. That's a Transformers reference for those of you who don't know. Bill's like, his head looks like Jack Nicholson. Yes, it kind of does, doesn't it? It kind of does. Don't touch my bags, if you please, Mr. Customs Man. Masters, Maniac Mexico, welcome to the stream. It's a good friend over there. That's a good channel you should subscribe to if you haven't already. Look him up. Great guy. Amazing dude. And if you were on the stream yesterday, obviously some of you already know who he is. It is late, but here, good evening. That is one of an ugly, yes, very, very ugly figures. For sure. Absolutely. But interesting and of note, which is why we discuss them here. Now, speaking of questionable decisions, we're going to move on to Hasbro a little bit here. A little bit of Hasbro here in a minute. But before we do that, let me catch up with chat. As you can see, is like, no, like originally they were going to upgrade Godzilla to fight Mecha Godzilla, but it was scrapped. Playmates like a year. Oh, well, I'm really glad they didn't do that because it would have been dumb. I would have been mad. Would have been very mad. Optimus Primal's on some great drugs. Yeah, yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's a Beast Wars reference. Jet Jaguar. Oh, the Jet Jaguar. Yeah, he basically good, but sometimes he punch a kid. Yeah, yes. Giant monkey with guns. If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. Fair enough. I mean, you could describe a lot of soldiers that way, I suppose. I mean, that I'll leave that up to you, Tim, when you see what I have to show off. Ted Millich in the house. What's up? What's up? Boba Hicks says new Hasbro Apocalypse looks good. I've heard about this. I haven't seen it yet. And it's not spoilers. It's not in the reveals that I have to show. But I've heard about this thing, and it does look pretty good. But what? I'll just show you. I'll just show you. This is a 2.5-inch figure bundled with its own speeder and little turret there, and Sully Stark, whoever the hell that is. I believe he's the character from the show there, as it were. I'm really not sure who this is for. I mean, obviously it's for children, but like the scale is just it's too small. Even for a 2.5-inch figure, they still kind of crammed the speeder down to size. It's now for someone like Epic Badger who loves the air speeder, you know, if you just like collecting that vehicle, that's probably for you. But for moi, I don't know. Okay, so Bjorn's saying that these are scaled with Imaginext. So if you collect those already, this is perfect for you. I don't, but I just thought it was such an interesting thing. Like Hasbro's making vehicles for this. They're making vehicles for this. Why are they not making vehicles for other things? I don't understand. I don't understand. Maniac says, I've uploaded Falcor to Bill's page. You want to see less? Yes. So, for those of you who don't know, Masters Maniac is doing a really interesting thing. He's gotten together with some like minded folks, and they're doing a licensed, never ending story toy line that is currently in production. And if you go to Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures Facebook page, you can follow the progress of that line. And we'll probably have him on the show at some point in the near future to discuss this. But from what I understand, it looks to be pretty good. Very, 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 very excited for that. So thank you for letting us know, brother. I appreciate that. Bjorn says that your Walmart, which has all the crap you like, and me, has a small Lightyear ship for $10 to $12. Is that down from like $20? Is that what that is? Because that's a pretty good price if that's what it is. That's fair. Oh, Go to Toronto. This is a line that Hasbro can do affordable figures for. This is a line that says Hasbro can do affordable figures in 3.7-inch, 3.75 scale. They want to, they just won't. Exactly. It's just proof positive. They're just not giving. And I also agree with Bjorn here. Vintage collection could do with a few vehicles. Love to see Luke's land speeder or a T16. I would as well. Absolutely. Jesse Hughes says, if you really want to save Artax, hit the like button. I would agree with that for the simple fact that who doesn't want to save Artax? I would rather save Artax than hear a trade. Artax! I hated that part of the movie. Like I hated that he dies. Spoilers. But the endless yelling of his name really got under my skin. They do look like big, strong hands, don't they? They do, don't they? They do. They do. Jim Largo chiming in on the new retro carded Apocalypse color scheme is a bit funky. We'll have to look that up. Wink, nudge, say no more. Kieran Ball says, this is the Star Wars toy that Hasbro made from plastic bubbles taken off of Marvel Legends. You know what? I wouldn't doubt that for a second. I wouldn't doubt that for a second. Maniac asked me, thought about the Reborn Skeletor CGI. Don't even know what that is, so I have no thoughts at this point. Sounds interesting, for sure. Mulvor's asking if we've seen the Buzz Lightyear toys. Yes, they're actually really, really cool. And some of the vehicles can easily be customized for other figure lines, which has been the big hubbub about them, which is quite good. Ian Sweeney feels the power of the Force T16 still stands up. I agreed. What's interesting is that the Power of the Force and Power of the Force 2 toys sold so well because everyone assumed like comic books, they were going to be worth billions. They're still attainable in the box at decent prices, and the T16 is pretty freaking nice. So, moving on. Now, this is not something I would normally show, but I wanted to show off something interesting. This is a Star Wars New Hope Milestones Han Solo and Stormtrooper disguise. This is not a perfect head sculpt by any stretch of the imagination for Harrison Ford, but it's a little bit better and less wonky than we've seen in the past on Hasbro. This is a $250 figure. But what's funny to me is that on a $250 figure, they're still not getting it right. And I don't understand what the problem is. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's better. It's definitely better. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not. But at this price point, I expect perfection. So they're still not getting it right, even when Diamond Select, who's a really good company, in my opinion, falters, right? So I just wanted to show that, for those of you that lament all of the Harrison Ford Han Solo sculpts, there might be something behind this. So my thing is, what if it's a thing with his likeness where they can't nail it because it's 100% his face and they owe him more money? What if he renegotiated his likeness deal with Disney when they made the new movies? That would not surprise me for a second. And again, I have no interest in this, but I thought the face sculpt alone was worth bringing up just to say, hey, what's up? And no, I would not pay 250 for at least not a new action figure. That's for darn sure. You know, we've talked about vintage stuff and how that works, but I just thought it was an interesting thing to bring up. I'm gonna just go away from that. I'm not even sure what that was. They give him a rubbery holster. Then what's the gun? Even not even fit. Fair enough. So I'm gonna move on. I just wanted to plant that seed in your brains. Now, moving on, we've got some Marvel stuff. We've got the retro carded Mystique, which interests me a lot because I really liked her character design in the comics. Always did. Thought it was very interesting that they deviated from that in the films, but I liked that design too. But this figure looks really, really good. Um, not a fan of the packaging, although it's interesting. This is the animated series version of the character, but unlike some of her contemporaries in the line, there's a little bit of paint deco that's a bit odd because it's the cartoon shading or whatever. But for the most part, it's pretty damn good. And the places where the paint deco is the most prevalent, with shadows and whatnot, it's on white pieces. So you could easily paint over this stuff if you really had to, right? And she's got like baby Nightcrawler. Jason Garcia called it out. That's exactly right. It's pretty cool. It's a good looking figure to me. Like I like this overall. I have not liked the animated figures when they first came out. Largo can tell you, I was all over the Wolverine because I didn't have a yellow uniform Wolverine. I have one now, so the whole animated line just like I just don't care. But this one looks pretty good, and I missed out on Mystique, so I'm on the fence about this one. You got the alternate hands, and it's good sculpt, good paint deco, and they're actually showing the figure, which is nice, which is always a plus, right? Um, rather like that one. I think it's a good, as they say, it's a good. And just kind of in the middle of everything, I wanted to show off that if for some reason you were looking for John Walker from Falcon Winter Soldier, he is on sale from Walmart for less than $8. So if you have any interest in the figure or even just the shield aspect of it, hey, $7. All right. Found that out this morning. I was like, well, I better just throw that in there. So again, not a big deal, not a like a but if you're into the character, if you like that character for any reason, you want a figure for that price, I'd say he's worth it. I would say he's worth it. Now, moving on into, I believe, my last Star Wars item. Yes. Yes. Okay. So, patrons know about this, but there's a vintage collection Darth Vader that's coming out as part of the Kenobi line. And I have a vintage collection Vader from Rogue One, which is a very good figure, but holy cannoli, kids, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. This is a great looking Darth Vader for me. It's a hybrid of, A New Hope with the Obi-Wan series, borrowing equally from that and Revenge of the Sith. It's right down the middle. And the soft goods look really good, not overblown. I love the way that the lightsaber looks. Um, it's got a lot of cool accessories I want to show you. Let me pull it up here. It's great poses. Packaging is nice and minimal. He's got alternate hands. He's got a pointing hand and a force choke hand, lightsaber that's lit and one that's not. So you've got both. It's a pretty damn good figure, in my opinion. So if you like the scale 3.75 inch, and you want something that's a bit more accurate, or you are in the vintage collection and maybe you weren't happy with some of the previous Vaders, for $15, get you a pre-order. I have one over on Amazon and on Big Bad just in case, because that's probably the best 3.75 inch Darth Vader we're ever going to get. That for me, I think it's a beautiful sculpt. I think it's a beautiful sculpt. So I just want to throw that out there. Logic Blaster is here. I haven't seen you in a while. He says, "What's up? Nice to catch a live stream. Nice to catch you here, my friend. I appreciate that. Really do." Just double checking. Yes, I do have Facebook. If you go to grindheadgym.com/Facebook, it'll take you to the page, and you can go there. And I am on Bill's page as well. I don't post there, but I will have to go back over there as well. Boom, 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 boom. Jim Largo, going back to the Mystique figure, says the inflated price point of the VCR box X-Men, you might be better off finding the Walgreens exclusive instead. That's a fair point. Very fair point. Ian Sweeney says, I'm curious, was Dark Phoenix as bad as people made it out to be? Word that I overpaid 50p from a charity shop. The film, it was watchable. It was watchable, but kind of pointless, because going in, they're not doing any more of these films, kind of a thing. It was watchable. It was okay. Wasn't awful, but for 50 pence, it's fine. It's fine. Like Jim Largo saying, it's fine. And yeah, $15 is not bad for a figure with all of this articulation. The sculpt and paint look really good. You have alternate hands in this scale at a 3.75 inch scale. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Jesse Hughes says, on one hand, the cost of the VHS figures is high. On the other hand, cheaper than eBay. If you're looking for some figures, it's a mixed bag. I agree. And then the paint deco also, I think, is a point of contention, because it's not the same figure. They have different paint on them and stuff, and some of the sculpting is different, and accessories and stuff like that. Yes, I agree, World Meta Cardboard. I-20 people are nuts. All the time. All the time. For sure. So that's Star Wars. But now, I'm going to get into something a little bit different. So last week we talked about Action Force Series 3 going up for pre-order at Valaverse.com. Guess what? They're on Big Bad. And yes, I pre-ordered all of them because I could. Because I had the ability to do so. And I'm very stoked on these figures. You got Pandora. You've got the Steel Brigade, which is a female Steel Brigade. You've got Eclipse, which some great accessories with that figure. Like, holy cannoli. Really, really cool stuff there. Which I like that they're not just, doing interesting things with the female form and female characters, but they're really going into some interesting territory with the accessories that are coming with these figures. So you're not just getting, the same things over and over again. So really, really good stuff. You've got Kill Switch, which is one of my favorites. I love her weapon set. I love just everything about this figure. Just screams like, "Ooh, this is really cool." Great looking figure. Then you've got your different troopers. You've got the Delta, which of course comes with the I forget that, what that's an MP4. I don't remember what gun it is, but they both do apparently. You've got the two of them there. So if you're into the troop building, you've got female to do that with as well. Nothing new here versus the Valaverse reveal last week. But if for those of you that are on a budget or just like to make sure you've got all of your avenues covered, Big Bad has them right now. Get them up for pre-order. Speaking of Action Force pre-orders, some of you may have gotten this email the other day. Tomorrow morning, Series 2B will be back up for pre-order. Going tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Includes a new stand pack, which has never been offered before. I don't know what that means. I'm guessing there's a pack of Action Force stands, so you can get extra Action Force stands. That would be my assumption. Very important note for placing new orders for Series 2. Due to our team getting ready for Joe Fest being away at the show, there will be a slight delay getting orders processed. So anything made after today, so tomorrow, and all the way through the 27th, they will not be processed until then. So it'll be basically a 7-day delay on those being processed, which that's fine. I'll be well into Iconicon by that point. I won't worry about my action figures not getting here. But I think it's very, very, very cool that there's going to be aspects of 2B coming back up on Valaverse.com. So that means Desert Rat and a bunch of other things on order, including those stand packs. So tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, check it out if you are so inclined. All right. Jesse coming with a great point. His stand pack includes all 4 stands, all different colors. Oh, that's pretty cool. All right. All right. Cool. All right. And Maniac, I will be getting in touch with you. Do not worry about that for a second. Logic Blaster is correct. Action Force is impressive with all the accessories. There's a lot of great stuff that comes with this line. Jesse Hughes says, I'll order Eclipse, Steel Brigade, Delta Trooper for Valaverse. May order more through Big Bad. On the fence of how much to order. I always order more than I think I'll need, and I take the reductive method and pull back on stuff later on. It's a good thing. Jim Morgan says, Killswitch comes with a nice sniper rifle. She sure does. So, Kieran Ball says, I was going to order pre-order Wave 3, but then Toys R Us raised the price from £5 each to £13 each. Wow. Okay. That's not cool. Will McLaughlin says, I'm saving my money for Joe Fest. Hope to score at the booth. Fair enough. So, for you, I think it would be smart to go to Big Bad to pre-order any of the figures you're looking for from Series 3, so you don't have to worry about it, and then save all of your money, all of your pre-order monies for Joe Fest itself. I think it's great. Jim Morgan says, Series 2B Action Force stands will be 4 stands. Swarm Yellow, OD Green, Coyote Brown, and Steel. I also cannot wait for my Desert Rat. I believe he has arrived. I have to go get him. I have to go rescue Desert Rat from the clutches of the UPS store. Which is the whole thing. It's an entire mood, as the kids say, you know. So, a couple more things in terms of news before we move on. These are small little things, but I want to bring them up because some of you are into this stuff. Now, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or Hero Turtles, depending on where you're from. Shredder's Revenge is a retro arcade-style beat-em-up game that is out digitally for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and all that stuff. So Nintendo Switch and on PC as well. It's an amazing game. It's up for pre-order physical copy over at Limited Run Games, which does include a very special version of the Playmates Classic Shredder. We've gone over this in the past. I bring this up because one, I know a lot of us are vinyl people, so you've got the soundtrack on vinyl for $80. It's a 2 LP. I presume the price is high because it's a resell. It's a lot to pay for double LP, but I didn't even know they're releasing the soundtrack in this format, so it's worth noting. And also that if you have not heard of this game, go seek it out. Just like I was saying before with Guardians of the Galaxy, this is available on most of your services. So you can get it through Game Pass, a couple other things. And if all you have is a computer, you can get it on PC at a pretty decent price. And I've played the game. It's really, really good. So I strongly recommend that you check that out. Now, the last little bit of news that I have, which is not like the hugest thing, but I saw it and I was like, I got to throw this in there because it's new. There's new Indiana Jones stuff at the Disney parks. They've got the idol. Throw me the idol from Raiders of the Lost Ark. You've got the actual Holy Grail from the film when you choose wisely, right? Got a crystal skull. Don't want that. And Shankara stone as well. They also have some supposedly movie accurate jackets. Spoilers, they're not. Probably got a fedora and some other stuff as well. But I thought it was interesting that they have these for sale, at the at the parks. This was just announced today on their blog, as you can see. Interesting to me that these are out there. I understand that the reason that they make these kinds of things exclusive is because they want you to go to the damn park, right? They want you to go to the park. I don't want to go to the park. If I want something, I want to order it. I've always wanted the idol. I think the idol's great. I think it'd be cool to have. The Grail, not so much. Shankar Stone, maybe, but the idol definitely speaks to me in terms of a piece of memorabilia that I would enjoy. But I'm not going to go into a Disney park to get them. It's just not going to happen. It's not for me. It's not for me. But I thought it would be interesting to bring up for you guys because reasons. Jesse Hughes says, yes, the TMNT game is 6-player online multiplayer. It looks rad. It is rad. Also playable are Splinter and April O'Neil. That's why you have 6 players. Johnny Sorensen, welcome, says, my Lego Keith Richards just arrived. It came with a Lego Tiger for some reason. Boing. Jesse Hughes says, the game is on discount on the Nintendo Store right now. Correct. This first week of release is to get pretty good prices. Johnny Sorensen says it feels like forever on that TMNT game, kept getting pushed back. Hopefully it means well polished. In my gaming experience, having played it, yes, very, very good. Very good. Squiggles, what's up? How are you doing? I'm doing great. Doing great, sir. Doing great. And Bjorn says, I actually like the Crystal Skull. Reminds me of the old school serials. Fair enough. But in the context of the other Indiana films, I'm like, meh. Now the years have been kinder to it than they were at the time. I'm just not a huge fan. Not a huge fan. I liked the nuclear scene, and I thought it was kind of absurdist and funny with the fridge. I thought it was funny, but the rest of the film, like I could have kept nuking the fridge. The rest of the film had a bit more cohesiveness to the plot. I just didn't enjoy it very much. Squiggles also chiming in that Shredder's Revenge is great. Love the game. Awesome, awesome, possum. Shane is here too. What's up? I'm doing great. We're talking about toys and video games and vinyl and stuff and everything else. That's what's up. I'm glad you're here. Bjorn asking if the tiger was majestic. Of course it was. Jesse Hughes says, housekeeping. Love your friends. Hit like button. And I have Patreon. Apparently, I do. That's true. We do hangouts every other week. Sometimes I can't wait and I do it early, which means extra. All kinds of stuff. You get exclusive, all kinds of stuff. So check it out. It's good stuff. It's fun. It's fun, 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 fun. So that's all of our news, so to speak, right? In terms of like toy news and everything else and things like that. Maniac says, as a German, so for context, Maniac is German born, living in Mexico, fluently speaks English, Spanish, and German. And it's crazy that he can think in 3 different languages all at once. Because as a German, I will say this. In my childhood, it was all German kids' dream to go to one of the Disney parks. Nowadays, you can put up any exclusive toy set there and would not get me in. What have they done? I mean, they made it all about money, man. They made it all about money. It used to be, at least when we were kids, it seemed to be about the dream, whereas now it's about give us money, which it always was about that. Let's be honest. Any business wants money, but I think that they've gone so far into merchandising that's probably where it's at. And I think part of the reason that these are there are because we do have the Indiana Jones films, new film coming up, which in a world where Top Gun Maverick can exist and be doing very, very, very well, there is hope for a 5th Indiana Jones. Just hope. Bjorn says the nuke fridge scene has an Easter egg in Fallout New Vegas. Doesn't surprise me one bit. Dun, 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 dun. I'm not even sure what lasts till 2 a.m., Jason. I'm scared to ask you. Scared to ask you. Oh, the Patreon. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sometimes they do last that late. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the beer is flowing a little too hard. I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie. Malaka says, is it the charred remains of a man that resembles Indy? Probably. Could be. Could be funny. Well, so I went into the prep work for today's stream, thinking, oh, there's not that much out there, and I was thinking of like a topic, right? And having seen all of those things, because I always worried about doing a news section on the show. I railed against it for a long time. But as you can see, after a month of doing it like this, there's always something to talk about. Sometimes I'll tack on a subject, sometimes I won't. I don't have one that is um the main top story. We can certainly talk about anything that you want to talk about that we had news on, something else I may have missed, or any Q&A that you have, of course. Um, but I do want to point out something that is coming. I don't have dates yet. I don't have all of the details yet, but we are going to be doing a stream separate from our weekly news show on all of the platforms that I have. So it's going to be on Twitch, it's going to be on YouTube, it's going to be on Twitter and Facebook. You can go to any one of these, and we're going to be raising some funds for charity. A very specific charity. As a friend of the channel, which I'm not going to go into details right now. Those of you that were on Bill's stream yesterday know. But when I make the official announcement through a trailer or something like that, we'll go into more detail. But this individual is very beloved and is a toy collector and a toy maker. Is dealing with some medical issues and is having a hard time making ends meet. We'll be doing a stream to that end to raise money for this individual so that they can get what they need. And so I want to plant the seed now with very little information. I'm not going to be answering a lot of questions about it, but there are going to be some interesting incentives for donations. There's a few different possibilities that I've talked about, like X amount is going to get you the opportunity to pick out a toy from a toy line that I have. We're going to put them on the toy photography station, and if we hit goal, I have to do a scene with all the toys that qualify. So there might be like 75 toys, and I have to like make a machinima live on the fly with all these toys by myself. So that should be interesting. Certain tiers might include me telling stories from either my time in the Marines, my time, as a musician, a funny mishap story from YouTube. I might even try to put together some blooper reels if I can figure that stuff out. So I want to bring this up because I want to know what you guys want to see. What kind of stupid human tricks can I do with you guys to incentivize you to give money to a good cause to save someone's life? Let me know. I definitely want to know what we're getting into here. I'm going to catch up with chat here. Bill says, need to figure out how to use Patreon better myself. I am happy to give you some pointers if you need them. Jason says, with Disney's track record with Lucasfilm, I wouldn't hold out hope for a good indie film. You're not wrong. Bjorn says, I want to see what scale they do the toys for the indie figures. 6-inch, I believe, has been confirmed. I don't know if they're doing any other scale yet. So I'm both excited and a little bit worried about that. Will McLaughlin says, hey, you can create your own Galactic Star Cruiser for what that would cost over a weekend. Think about how much you can buy for that price. Talking about the $5,000 per night at the Star Wars Galactic Cruiser Hotel. Definitely. I agree. Build your own thing. Especially out of cardboard, right? Right. For what I understand, it is 6-inch. Ted Miller says it's 6-inch and 3 3/4 inch like Star Wars, somewhat from what he's heard on the indie figures. Interesting. If we get both, it'll be interesting for me to see what I want. I don't know. It's a very difficult thing. It depends upon the sculpts. If the 6-inch ones have good sculpts, I will probably collect all those. From the films that I want anyway. When it comes to 3 3/4, I will probably just get a Raiders of the Lost Ark set. That's probably what I'll do, unless they do something crazy like vintage collection style. If they're doing a retro style with 5 POA, I don't really care for it at all. I'll try to stick with the 6-inch. I believe it's what they're doing. Jason says, I want both the 3.75 and 6-inch because I love to have indie fight with my Jurassic Park toys. Not wrong. Jim Margot says, stupid human trick, karaoke with ABBA. No, that's licensed music, can't do it. I like where you're going with it, though. Keep it up. Logic Blaster says, Jim, ask me if I think Hasbro will eventually release a new vehicle for Star Wars. They've been slacking vehicles lately. We were just talking about this earlier in the stream. They were making a vehicle for like the Super Kids toys, like these little 2.5-inch scale figures in the Imaginext kind of scale. They are making vehicles, but they're not doing it for Retro Collection or TVC or Black Series. Do I think they'll do it? No. Do I think they should? Yes. Look at what happened with the Rancor and all that with the HasLab thing, right? I think they're going to continue to try and pawn off the we can't do it. Meanwhile, they're doing, a snow speeder, an air speeder, right, for this Imaginext scale line, and they're releasing it in a line that has a limited range of people looking for it. So I don't know why they're not doing it, but I don't think that they will. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they do make more and more vehicles for the Star Wars line, particularly for Vintage Collection and Black Series alike. I think both lines deserve more. And what they have put out, for the most part, has been pretty good. I really loved the Millennium Falcon refresh. I like the X-Wings I've seen. The Snow Speeder's very nice. I think that there's a lot of room for more. I think there's room for more, but I don't know. I don't know why they're not doing it, and I wish that they would. I really do. I really do. Bjorn's heard that they're doing retro. Hopefully, they do them like the original, not the retro Star Wars figures. I agree. I think it would be nice just to have the same thing over again. On the same token, if they are doing retro and 5 POA, I wouldn't be upset if they updated those. I think that people need to be able. The point is that people need to be able to get them. And there's a part of me that if they are slightly modernized, slightly better sculpts and stuff like that, and it's the same as the original figures, especially if they do vehicles and playsets, I might be in on those because I missed out on the Raiders of the Lost Ark stuff as a kid, and it's a big hole in my heart when it comes to that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if they're smart enough to do that. Smart enough to do that. Revis Starfighter, yeah, that's a possibility. I mean, they're doing all this stuff for the new series and stuff. Maybe we'll get something cool out of it. Bill Wift is asking if we've heard anything more about the McFarlane Superpowers toy line. No. As a matter of fact, the place where I got the pictures from took them down without fanfare, and I haven't heard anything about it. So that might have just been a rumor. So we don't know for certain. Always hope. There's always hope that the license will get snatched up by Mattel and we'll get some decent figures, but you never know. Jim Largo says, Black Series Classic X-Wing would get his cash. You know what? It probably would me as well. Probably would me too. For sure. Jason Garcia says, HasLab could do a Maloram headdress, bite your tongue. They could do it, but I would never buy it. I would never encourage anyone to buy it. If you want to make something, just put it out. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Well, the new superpowers was not confirmed to be real, but I didn't see any major debunks either. It's been very quietly shushed. So who knows what's actually happening? There's nothing is 100% either way, but I'm inclined to think that some of it was bupkis. But I don't know. I honestly don't know. I was very hesitant to bring it up on the show to begin with, but when I saw the card backs, I'm like, I got to at least talk about it because someone's going to ask me. So I might as well talk about what we have. 16-bit Piece says, there's a Batman Forever playset I was never able to find. I can help you find it. It's actually pretty easy to get. It's Wayne Manor. They released it for the 89 Batman film. Toy Biz did their own version of that. But then Kenner continued to release the same mold over and over again. They did one for Batman Returns. They did one for Batman Forever. They did one for the animated series, and they did one later on. So there's multiple versions of the mold, and from what I understand from Bill Wifta, who's an expert on the subject, it's just different colors of the actual shell. Some of the accessories differ in color and things like that, and the sticker sheets are going to be different. So if it's Wayne Manor you're looking for, the Bat Cave, that's very attainable, actually. And you could even get one of the ones that are cheaper to find, and just get the sticker set for the Batman Forever, you could get that. If it's a different playset, tell me what you're looking for. We can help you find it if it's something that you really want. They're not that hard to find. They're hard to find complete, but even if you need to piecemeal it, they're not horribly expensive to get, because you can usually get a near complete one for around 60, 70 bucks. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Yes, Jesse Hughes does have the 6-inch snow speeder, and it is big. I love that thing. It's pretty cool. Jim Largo says, Toddy Mac, Todd McFarlane, is going to do some reveals at San Diego Comic Con. Superpowers might be announced then. That's what I was thinking too. That's what I was thinking too. Maniac says, I hope Mattel itself, it's not going to get picked up in 2023. Opinion about Funko buying Mondo. We talked about this last week. Funko buying Mondo, I think, is an interesting play. Mondo being very boutique, small run, very expensive. Whereas Funko is the opposite in their business approach. So, what I'm hoping will happen is that Mondo will be able to do the same level of quality items at larger runs so that you can get those kind of interesting boutique things at a lower price. Or that they're going to combine things and kind of do a crossover where you're doing a wider array of things at mass market. I don't know what it really means, but I think it's an interesting play. And I think that there's a lot of potential there for some really, really, really cool items. And I'm interested to see where it goes. And until we see what they're doing, I don't have much more that I can say because it's all conjecture. It's a guess at this point, 60-bit pieces. I have the animated one from 1999. There's just another one that's just the cave that holds the Batwing, Batmobile, and the boat. Is it the same scale? Or is it smaller? I'm guessing it's a smaller one. But keep describing it because there's a lot of people in this chat right now that might know what you're talking about. I would have to guess that it's a smaller thing that has all the vehicles in it, as opposed to a 3.5-inch, 3.75-inch scale thing, because they only made the one playset that I'm aware of that they kept continuing to go over. Jesse says the snow speeder is the smallest of the Rebel ships as well. More of a 3.75 scale makes more sense. So Hasbro's pivoting to giving the vintage line more love. I hope that the vintage collection gets more love. The retro collection. So for those of you who don't know, vintage collection is super articulated 3.75-inch scale figures, which is the Darth Vader we showed off earlier. Retro collection is just reissues, retooling, or new figures in the old style of that 5 POA straight arm kind of a thing. Now, granted, because if they make a vehicle that'll fit the vintage collection, it'll fit retro collection as well. So I hope that they start going to that direction. I think that it would be interesting because you'd have some interesting crossover of those vehicles, and you could even sell them the same vehicle. One would be called vintage collection, one would be called retro collection, and you just have different sticker sets, slightly different paint deco. You could sell the same vehicle twice, and people would buy it twice. I'd buy it once. I think there's interesting avenues to be had there for sure. Bum 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 bum. I agree, Bill. Funko, yuck, ew. I agree. Jesse says, let's get to a solid 20 likes. I'll drink another Pepsi if we do. I mean, go for it. I mean, if you want the caffeine and the sugar in your body. Bill Wifta says there's another Batcave playset that didn't use the command center mold. That's probably what he's talking about. Jim Largo chiming in says the Batcave from Batman Forever is a modular affair that can work for display with superpower scale, even though figures for that movie were larger. Fact. And that might be the one you're looking for as well. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. But we will keep it on lookout. If you're serious about getting it, we'll track it down. It's something we're pretty good at around these parts, Pete. We're pretty good around these parts for that for you. Ha. Ha. Jason Garcia is asking if Pete is talking about the Microverse line. That's what I was thinking. I'm assuming that's the case, but it may not be the case. I don't know for certain. I do not know. So I want Pete to chime in. but Pete's probably multitasking, which is something that Pete does. So maybe a minute before he responds. Roman at Cardboard says, all my money is going for gas. I just put $46 in my Prius. A Prius! That is ridiculous. Yeah, and people will always make fun of me for not leaving the house, and that's part of why I haven't been leaving the house, because I'm out of gas in the car, and it's so expensive. But I will be putting more gas in the car and leaving the house. But I can't just willy-nilly go everywhere I want to go anymore. So like before, it was like, I don't really feel like I'm. Now it's like the gas way too much. So it's a good excuse. Well, says yes, the Forever playset goes for insane prices on Evil Bay. I was looking at a new one at one now for $175, probably because it's not the same mold, I would guess. So, I mean, if it's complete at that price, I mean, because it is unique to that particular movie at that particular time, and that being a very popular film, you know, um, I don't know. I'm on the fence with that one. That's really high price for that, considering you can get the Command Center, Wayne Manor stuff a lot cheaper. But the heart wants what it wants, right? The heart wants what it wants. I'm going to disagree with you there, Bjorn. I think the Amish definitely care about the gas prices because they make a lot of their living by selling furniture and knickknacks to people that drive into Amish country to get it. And I don't know about you, but if I have to, start picking and choosing where I'm going, I'm probably not going to go to Amish country for knickknacks. So it affects them too, whether you believe it or not. He's like, that's like 36 Final Faction toys. That's right. A lot of Final Faction toys. What on earth is happening? Dear Margot says, any ideas what announcements Valaverse might be making at Joe Fest? Rumors are circulating about a vehicle. I wouldn't put it past Bobby to announce that then. That would be a good place to do it. He certainly made it clear that vehicles are on his mind. He might have a trailer for the film. Who knows? Some kind of like a teaser trailer that isn't really film footage, but they'll announce like we're gonna be filming at this time. Like you never know with Bobby. Bobby, I do not try to speculate or predict what he's gonna come up with. So yeah, vehicle could be there. It could be film related stuff, could be something totally different. Who knows? But he's riding high with good reason. He's putting out amazing product with great support. So I feel like it's really there's a good possibility of a lot of different things. And Pete has chimed in with an exact picture of what he's talking about. So let's show what we've got here. So, bam! That's the Batcave he's talking about. So this is that modular affair you guys were talking about. So obviously it's the Batcave itself. Probably does not come with the Batcave. Lots of play features here. And I can see why it would be, pretty hard to get because I haven't even seen that, to be perfectly honest. I've never seen this before when looking for bat caves. Or if I saw it, I didn't know what I was looking at. So this definitely follows the design of the film. And yeah, so that's what my man's looking for right there. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Is the Batcave headquarters. It's super rare. Clearly. Bill said, I saw one for 70, but the shipping was 105. Yeah, that's when you start like punching people. You know what I mean? Like, why are you doing it? Get it? That's my first thing, But that's a really cool looking playset. I mean, I could see uses for it. Honestly, I would probably buy it and try to convert it into a Tower of Doom. But for that price, I don't think it's worth it. For moi. But if that's something that Mr. Pete wants, we need to look for it. We look for it for him. For sure. Bill was never interested in the Forever Cave personally. I mean, it's not great, but it's cool. It's cool. It's not It's on $150 plus. Cool. That's where my head's at. For like $60 in the box, all day, every day. Sub $100 in the box, all day, every day. I would buy it because it's an interesting mold and some cool stuff on it. Yes, someone did mention earlier looking at the mini comic cover. Thank you for reminding me, sir. Let me pull that back up because you did DM that to me. Nickelodeon. No, that's not it. It's the Secret Origins one. Secret Origins. Same seller, different image. So Trident Secret Origins mini comics is what it is. So my apologies. I should have checked that sooner. Ian Sweeney asking if there was ever a Fortress of Solitude playset. Not that I know of, but I bet you could repaint that one to look like ice. But you can do it. Roman Cardboard says, I remember that playset. It's impressive. Because they pack it with love. I don't know about that. For the shipping price? No. Yep, zip lines are good. Sky Commanders, you heard? Yeah. You did a lot of stop motion movies with the toys back then. That's awesome, dude. You should get into it again. It's fun. It's fun times. Zip lines being one of Will's favorite play features. George says, I'm not really a fan of the toy gimmicks, but I love when they come with zip lines. Me too. They're just fun. Bill Webster coming in with the knowledge. I love his knowledge. He says, Ian, Superpowers Fortress was never released, but it was designed. Interesting. I didn't even know that. Or I know that and forgot it. Drank it away. Jim Largo says, I think Mego made a Fortress of Solitude playset back in the late 70s or early 80s. Ooh. Bill says that no prototype was ever made for the Fortress of Solitude. Womp womp. Bill what this is, use the Star Wars Hoth Imperial base for a Fortress of Solitude. That is a solid idea. It's actually a really good idea. Did they redo that for Power of the Force 2 series? Because if they did that, it would be inexpensive, and I'd be like, ooh, I would totally do that. Because I would 100% do that. See, I love it when you guys see. I just try to just rapid fire you lots of stuff, and then people start talking, and then we have this discussion. It's fun. It's great. It's one of these things I love doing. That's why we're all here. Monday, it's a thing. Oh, I love the back and forth with this kind of stuff. So Jim Largo is saying that the Mego Fort Solitude is similar to the Batcave, which is plastic with plastic covered cardboard. Aha. Yes, indeed. So I find it interesting that when we get to these places where we're talking vintage and modern and customs and boutique and all this, like the lines go away, right? Like it's no longer just I don't like this, I do like this. They're all toys and they're all wonderful. And I know that some of you guys are like, I never buy new, I only buy vintage. Once in a while, something comes along that's new that you kind of go, ooh, I kind of like that. Just like guys who only collect new, there's some vintage stuff that people go, ooh, that would be neat. I love that about toys because they're toys. We love them. And I find myself in those crosshairs all of the time. Jason Garcia says, my mom's old fridge would make a good fortress. Comes with a chilling effect. Boing. I like that. Very good. Bill echoing Jim saying Mego did a Fortress of Solitude for smaller figures as well, but it's more like Hall of Justice. Interesting. I didn't know that. See, I just, all the time off that I spend, if I'm playing a game or watching a movie, I should just be reading his blog and learning things because there's so much stuff on Bill's blog. You guys, so good. It's well done too. It's a good HTML coder too. Yes, thank you for reminding me, Will. Will made a cardboard, just put out a video of an awesome place that he designed. Check it out. It is awesome. It is awesome. And he's doing videos now. I'm going to get all you guys into this stuff. Got Gojatron in on the thing. Freaking Bjorn's working on some stuff. And now World Meta Cardboard's doing videos. telling you, I love it. Spread the disease. I love it. I love it. Karen Ball says, Imagine X made a DC Super Friends Fortress of Solitude playset. Did they? It's 2.5-inch scale, right? Gotatron says, Mego Comic Action Heroes line is what you want to look up. There you go. Well, I do want to look it up. It would be very interesting. Joe DeBecky, who has been here, and I missed him earlier, said, I just picked up a Diamond Select, Bob and Vincent Maximilian, oddly satisfying. I don't know if that's odd. I don't know if it's odd, because that movie was a lot for a lot of people. It was a very good film for what it was, just not what they wanted it to be, right? And it was one of those things. It was easily accessible. Star Wars was hard to get a hold of. And if you have good memories of that movie, like Maximilian scared the shit out of me as a kid. I think it's great, and it's something that when I start to slow down a little bit on the major lines that I'm collecting now, that's the kind of thing I think I'm going to start going after. For the simple fact that, there's like little things. I only need a couple figures, right? Which would be cool. Yep. I mentioned that, Bjorn. I know you got some videos, bruh. World Meta Cardboard on YouTube. Click the link, boys and girls. Do it. Because my man deserves it. And I just subscribed and hit the notification bell, which you should do too. On all these channels of these community members that do these things, they deserve, especially when they're just starting out, they deserve support. So, all the guys that are growing something, whether it be Gojatron or Roman to Cardboard or Maniac or Bill Wifta or any of these folks, make sure that you're giving them that support because they put out great stuff. Every single one of them. Great stuff. Bill Wifta says, Black Hole is a good movie, but the ending sucked and confused me as a child. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like, full stop. You're not wrong. It was fun. And then they're like, what? Like, I remember the ending. Like, spoilers, when Maximilian just kind of floats away, you're like, that's it? He just floats away, kills a guy and floats away? What? What? This is a very, very good description. He says, they did a reverse Event Horizon. They made it to heaven. I like Event Horizon myself, and maybe that's why. So I'm like, no, they should have gone to hell. Oh, nice. Will's looking forward to trying doing cardboard playsets and stuff. Yeah, I'm not very good at it, but I have to get practice to do it, and I need to start, right? Ben, showing support, subscribe. There you go. Did you hit the notification bell, though? That's important because, again, for channels that are not, well established, you really should lean your notifications to all on the newer stuff and watch their videos. It's how they're going to grow. I understand for larger channels, like not having notifications on, like my own, like you may not want to do that. That's part of why I rely on social media to let you guys know when something's coming out, because I know notifications can be very, very annoying. But, for prolific channels. But when it comes to someone who's just starting out, notification bells are where it's at. Maniac says, Roman Corbett's fantastic channel, subbed yesterday and binged all this on the right away, so inspiring. Yes, he is. Great guy. Love the guy. Max von Sydow, and then some German that I can't read. Will's going to try one of World Meta Cardboard's latest after Joe Fest. Plan on sitting down and working on them during Iconicon. That's a really good way to do the whole thing. I like that. Very cool. Very cool. Bjorn Jorgensen says his dad has always said, you're going to suck until you don't. That's 100% true. Meaning you have to start out and you have to do something, right? Whether it's videos, making toys, repairing toys, which I need to follow my own advice there, anything. And when you start to see, where the skill set is kind of waning, you seek out the people that know how to do this stuff and have them help you through. So when it comes to the tech stuff or like searching for things online, I'm really good at that stuff. So any of the streaming stuff, video stuff, and searching for things online. I'm very good at that. So if you're looking for something and you need help, or you're trying to start something, you need help, I'm good for that. When it comes to knowledge based on specific toy lines, there's a bunch of people in this chat alone that are amazing with all of these different aspects of toy collecting, and I encourage you to seek each other out. We certainly do a lot of that on the Patreon, not to plug it, but it's a good place to go. Anywhere where you can find like-minded people and pick each other's brains, it's really important. So it's something I'm hoping that we'll continue to do here on this channel. Ben confirms he did notifications as well. There you go. Bill Wifta is saying that Movement Carpet has an awesome channel. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Zach says that he'll notify us. Well, me, because he's being funny, because it's the thing. Thank you for being here, brother. I appreciate you. Joe to Becky, Gojatron's content and subject's been real nice. Yes, Gojatron's amazing. For someone who came on this channel barely 6 months ago and said, I don't want to mess with YouTube, and then starts coming out with YouTube, and his proliferation of content has been humbling, to say the least. Not just for myself, but for a lot of other creators, I'm certain. Carl is good at this shit. He's really, really good. I love what he does. Really, really good. Will McLaughlin says, I had the best experience watching Event Horizon in a really rundown theater. Felt like something was on my leg. It was a roach. Really enhanced the horror. I saw a Rain of Fire in a movie theater that smelled like cat pee. Don't know if it helped or hurt. Probably hurt. Your Dorcas says, I'm getting better at customizing my toys, working on a custom pilot for the Majestic. Hey, no worries, man. It's my absolute pleasure. You support me and everyone else here. That's the least I can do. Support you right back, pal. And I wouldn't if it wasn't good content, and it is. So keep doing it, man. Jim Largo chiming in that Gojatron is a wealth of knowledge for toys, comics, and pop culture. Couldn't have said it better myself, but I just did because I said it with inflection. You just typed it. I'm kidding. Just use, oops, I just dropped this. Oh, sir. Kieran Ball says, yes, Gojatron reviews toy hauls as well. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, run at Jim. Yes, 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 yes. I see what you're saying. You're saying, well, instead of just showing us on the stream once a week for free, you could make videos and take that segment away from the show. I struggle with that for the simple fact that I like that idea and I love that format for him. It's certainly something I could do, but given that depending upon what toys they are, I want to take them out. Like those, for me, a toy haul video would be a much longer shoot than anything else that I do because it would be multiple toys and boxes like that. So I don't think I would be doing that. I think I'm going to keep the format of like just showing the hauls when I have them, just to say here's what I've got, and if you want to see something up close, I'll grab it. We'll do the whole thing, and then I'll still have feature videos later as well. I think I need to do both, but doing like an entire haul as a video, like the way that I would want to do it, at least in my head, I don't think that would work. I like the idea. I'm just not sure how feasible it is for me with the way that my brain tends to malfunction. But I like it. Or when I go overboard, loves Gojatron. Will McLaughlin says, I got an entry level resin printer for Father's Day. Ooh, that's awesome. So excited for possibilities to enhance your collection. Yes, let us know what your progress is on that. You should document you should document what you learn from everything because that's how everyone else learns too. Like the more people that document their mistakes and their learning experiences, the easier it's going to be for people that go on the line. People that go on a limb like World Meta Cardboard and Coachtron and people like that, they really can show. Another great channel to watch if you're not already watching it is Steady Craftsman. Steady Crafted. Steady Crafted. When it comes to like resin molding and stuff, you probably already watch him, but Craftsman, not without the T. It's like Craftsman, but without the T. Look him up. Like you want to know about resin, like that's a good guy to like molding all that stuff. And go to Charles like, okay, we get it. I'm awesome. Thank you for all the kind of validating words, dude. Really. Just everything you're doing, keep doing it. Be amazing. And thank you for submitting news pretty consistently. Same with Jim Largo too. You guys are great about like, oh, what about this? Neither of you sound like that, but I appreciate it because it gets me going in a direction like, oh, I should look at this. I should look at this. I should look at this. And research this. So it's a lot of cool stuff. Not wrong, Will. Gojatron could review a pet rock and make it entertaining. He could because he has the context. He was alive at the time. He probably has a couple of them and could tell that story in a way that I couldn't do it. There's just man. Bill just said I did a few toy hunt videos that they didn't go so well. Well, that's the thing. Even when I was at Dallas Vintage, we only took a few pictures. The original thought was to have the other party film. We didn't do that, and as a result, that's why I turned it into a stream subject rather than a video because I had nothing to show for my trouble. Toy hunting, game hunting, all that stuff is very difficult for me to film because, and I figured it out because like the game chasers, toy chasers always have another person filming for them, and they have to be good at what they do. It's not easy. It's really not easy, and some places don't let you film as soon as they realize you're filming. Like, get out of here! It's a whole process, dude. It's a whole process. But it won't stop me from doing one every now and again, though. Fair enough. Oh, Zach says that they got an FDM 3D printer recently, and you got a resin printer on order. Is that right, sir? There's a lot of cool stuff that you can make for toys and for video games and everything in between. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. Maniac does love the Craftsman, but doesn't have any clear resin DIY recipe. That's true. Yeah, Maniac does some great stuff with that. Which walking through how to create your own glow in the dark paint the other day, and like clear resin and all this other stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff over there too. So uh, check my man out because he's got some cool stuff and he's really passionate with what he does. Makes some great stuff for sure. But like I have a whole driveway full of pet rocks. Fair, fair. Warming Cardboard says, I've said this before. If I get a 3D printer, I would have to change my hand to life in plastic. It's fantastic. You should just register that now because now it's out there in the public eye. You should at least register that so people won't snatch it up. That's for sure. I will absolutely hit you up for 3D printing and resin printing of things. There's a lot of stuff I'd like to try. A lot of stuff I'd like to try. Bill says, I meant my toy hunt videos didn't get a lot of views on YouTube. Well, what you should do is once we hit 500, which, by the way, if you're not already subscribed to Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures, he's getting close to 500 subs. The reason we're really trying to get him there is because it will unlock his community page. And that just opens up a ton of stuff. It's like a second blog for him. And so what I was going to say was that the toy hunt videos you should re-promote on the community page once you have it. Post them on your Facebook page again, just make sure, because I didn't even know you've done them. That's what happens is there's so many videos that we end up doing that if you're not there in the moment or if you had a busy weekend that weekend, people forget that stuff is there and they don't even know how to search for the old stuff you've done, and they're not. It's whatever. So when you get the community page, that's something you should probably do. Is make that happen because I'd love to see them myself. Bjorn still has yet to have a successful print with his 3D printer. Might have to send it to someone. Fair enough. Fair enough. James Salzberg asks, "What's the final tally on Econocon for figures for loose?" Oh, well, I don't know if we have a final tally yet. I'll get with you after this. Ted Millett says, or if you're ordering right now, well, that's a whole other thing. Ted Millett says, now that I've got Nickelodeon jingle stuck in my head, Nickelodeon. Exactly. Craftsman is fantastic. You are correct. So what Salzberg is talking about is that there's a lot of us that aren't okay. So he's ordering Wednesday. So he's going to be ordering some figures from the Iconicon for this year. That Boba Fett that's out there through Stan Solo, and the shipping is pretty gnarly on that. And for those of us that can't make it to the meetup, I had plans to go to the meetup, but it's just not going to work. The flight is just too damn expensive. And when you combine that with all the other costs of travel and everything else, um, and he's not going, Largo's not going, a bunch of us aren't going. So he's like, why don't we just order the figures together? And it was a cool idea. So if it is something you're interested in, get a hold of my man Salzburg through Instagram or wherever Salzburgs are sold. And we'll be able to help you out here because Wednesday is when the order is going down. Will also says to make sure you check out the Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures blog. There's much amazing stuff that you absolutely love it. Yes, we are big, big fans of that blog. Logic Blaster says, I've had pretty good successes with toy hunting videos on my channel. They typically get a decent amount of view, and I have fun doing them. Yeah, it's something where, for me, for one, to do a toy hunt, you have to leave the house. That's a big problem. Two, with the way that I like to navigate a toy store, I don't like making two passes with the camera. Maybe that's just a lazy thing. Because I want to be able to catch my reactions as well as the toys themselves. Because, and this is going to be a controversial statement, I am not a fan of toy hunting videos that just show everything that's on the shelves. Yes, I said that. I want to see the people finding things and commenting on it and talking about it and having discussions and, agonizing over what they're going to buy. I like the drama of it a little bit, right? And maybe drama is the wrong word, but I enjoy seeing people in the moment, right? So having like a toy room tour, but it's a toy store, those are good, and those videos have their place. When we talk about a toy hunt, I think it's very different, and I think Logic Blaster does stuff like that, and similar things, and certainly Toy Chasers, which I mean that to me that's the gold standard of toy hunting videos. I'm biased, but that's okay. Uh, so I encourage those of you that want to do videos, don't be afraid to put yourself on camera. Hand the camera to somebody else or use a selfie stick or something. Because if all you're going to do is show me the toy store and then talk about it after the fact, it's good. It's like a fun video. But if you really want to engage me as a challenge, film yourself in the moment. Talk about it. And granted, I don't want you bothering other people. I think that's what it is. A lot of people don't want to speak out loud in a toy store. They're going to bug other people, stuff like that. I understand that. But you have to take chances sometimes, right? Like when I did a Game Grinds episode, I was in a store where we were trying to fix my Xbox. I was filming the whole time. Customers coming in and out. And you just have to get good at editing for all the stuff that you're doing. And even then, I didn't get nearly enough footage, in my opinion. So I challenge you to make hybrid types of videos. And if you are going to film silently, then film in such a way that like you start writing the script in your head, to where you could have like stuff like this, where you could have the commentary and then show the footage and things like that. But if all you're going to do is film the toy store to music and then talk about it afterwards, I don't know. I don't know that and I know it's a very controversial statement. There are very close friends of this channel that have that format, and they are very, very good at that. And they are enjoyable videos. I'm saying I prefer the format where there's more commentary involved, more engagement on that front, and I challenge folks to do that. And I'm not calling out Logic Blaster. Logic Blaster does good stuff. Just get, for those of you that are going to go out there with a camera, just some things that I challenge you to do. There are toy hunting videos of a style I have yet to see. So I encourage people that are trying to get started out, if you go out and do a lot of hunts, surprise me, figure some shit out, because I'm not doing them, and there's only so many people that actually do like decent toy hunt videos out there. It's a very low number, actually. So blow some people's socks off. I challenge you. Jesse Hughes says, anyone know if Valaverse is selling an alpha pack at Joe Fest? It's the one item do not have due to shipping delays at Big Bad Toy Store. They have Series 1 and 2 are going to be there. So I would assume that the alpha pack will be there. So I know Will is going, might be a good source to go. And Will also likes toy hunts and will check out Logic Blaster's channel. Good idea. Logic Blaster's great. Bill Lipton says, I think I will start reposting my old videos on my Twitter. Yes. Yes, you do have a Twitter for WIFTA, but only post links to blog articles and YouTube. Yes. Yes. Twitter is a very good, useful tool. Not everyone likes it, but it is good. It is very, very good. Ted Millick says, I'm going to try to do a tour of Buc-ee's Friday night during the StreamYard chat if the internet cooperates. Ted is referring to the Patreon chats that we have. We just set up a StreamYard and everyone joins in and we just have discussions for a couple hours. So he's going to do a show off of Buc-ee's. So that's pretty cool. Rollman Cardboard says, I've always hated toy hunt videos when they run through the store zooming from one toy to the next so fast I get nauseous. Exactly. You want people to slow down. Slow down! Like that Hasbro Pulse video I put out like a week ago. I think that's important because if you are going to do the walkthrough of the video, it should be at a speed where you get to see everything, right? So I think there's a way to do both. It's something editorially that takes some time to figure out, I feel. And it's part of why I don't do those kinds of videos currently. But you never know. You never know. Will says, Valaverse booth is first stop. Smart man, because that stuff's going to just... Bleh. Bill Wifta says, if I get a chance to watch the video to a daycare kid's vintage toy in West Memphis, give you a critique. I will do that, sir. I will do that. DM me on Facebook and remind me or send me a link. That'll make my life easier because I got a lot of stuff I'm doing tonight. Jason Garcia says there's a local toy hunting channel here from Houston. Her from Houston, HERR. Bugs the shit out of me. Shows his funds, but never. He shows his finds, but never says what store. I'm like, okay, but which Target? I don't have all day to visit 10 of them. That's a good point. So for those guys that like, and I think that it's kind of like, the Game Chasers were in the beginning very cagey about that stuff. And in Houston, it is so competitive in Houston. People are so tight-lipped about where they're hunting, right? I don't think it's just that channel, honestly. I don't want to get into a whole big thing, but in Houston, it seems to be very, very competitive, and I don't know why. And I do think that's annoying as well. Bjorn says, if I can get my buddy to agree, I can do a video of his store. I think that would be great. It would be awesome. Just make sure, as you're going from shelf to shelf, take your time. So, and the way that I would shoot that would be like if you're holding the camera like this. Just take what you think is slow and go a little bit slower. Just a little bit slower. I realize that's agonizing, right? If you're going to get steadier video out of it, you can smooth it out. Trust me. And Will also would like to see that. There you go. So we're past the 90-minute mark here. We're going to stay live for another not more than 10 minutes. If there is any Q&A, please open that up. I love the discussion. I don't want to cut you guys off, so we're going to stay live a little bit longer. Ted asks, what's a good vintage store in Houston? I've never found one. Got one in Galveston that you'd like to go to. I honestly don't know. In terms of because when it comes to retro gaming, I know, and I also know that the guys in Culture Shock do some toys, but those guys might be a good resource. If you go to Culture Shock, which is Galveston adjacent, okay, they might be able to give you some ideas of what's going on. And Jason says, because there's a ton of resale stores here. Exactly. It's like 20 storefronts, local flea market. Agreed. Woman of Cardboard says, what is my take on some of the local toy shops in the DFW area? I think a lot of them are great. A lot of them aren't. That's really what it comes down to. But Dallas Vintage Toys, A lot better than I thought they would be in person. Honestly, based on their website, I was scared to death that it would be like really bad price hikes, but no, they're very reasonable, really cool store, love them to death. Um, there's a all Star Wars toy store in Arlington. I forget the name of it. Honestly, I honestly forget the name. Um, at the time that I went, it was just when COVID had hit, like right before lockdown. That's what I'm saying. And I wasn't collecting toys at the time. I didn't have my finger on the pulse of what prices were like. I remember it feeling like it was really high prices for what it was, but they had an amazing selection of stuff. Um, I would love to go back there and check out their stuff now, but they're very, very good from what I remember. Jason Garcia, referring to Houston, says Misfits Toys, Lemoore Toys, Super Happy Incredible Toys, and Katie Flea Market. There you go. Perfect. Kieran Ball's got to go. Says great live stream. Nice to have you, sir. Thank you, Kieran. Love you. Melvor says game chasers are chumps. So is their cameraman. But I love you. Ted Miller says I'll be in Katy this weekend. Might have to look at that flea market. Jason Garcia also mentions Atomic Money. Ow, my fingers! Atomic Monkey. And any of the Bedrock comic stores, but that's more modern. Fair enough. Bjorn also says there's a few flea markets where you occasionally get some toys, but it's kind of rare. That's the point of the hunt, though. Maniac says going with a cam to Tepito would be like going to the main street on high noon in the good old Western. Yes, yes, because you're in Mexico, and people are very wary of cameras. Not just in that country, but in that culture. Friends of mine who were like very on the southern tip of Texas. They tried to film in San Antonio and a little bit lower, and it was people didn't like it very much at all. And there's a lot of places in the states too that they just don't like people filming. It's very very dangerous, if you will, dangerous. You know. Logic Blaster says I love flea markets. Usually interesting stuff to see, even if I don't buy anything. I agree. I love a good flea market, but that's the key, a good one. Will says, I did a super slow peg by peg, aisle by aisle walkthrough of my KB toy store back in 2001. It was my last day. I wanted to remember that place because I built it a few years earlier. It's on tape. Dude, you have to digitize that. You have to digitize that. That would be amazing for people. Are you kidding me? And even if you don't have any plans to put up a channel and you don't want to do that, if you just want to digitize the raw footage and Dropbox it to me or Carl or anybody, I will edit that together, and I will help you shoot some commentary. We'll edit the whole thing together, and I'll just put bookends on it to introduce it as your video if you don't want to do it yourself. But people would absolutely love that. I guarantee you. A KB toy store, dude. Yes, 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 yes. Holocron Toy Store brings it up. You should try to find it. Ben Zetley is also going nighty night. Good night, sir. And Mulvor says, "Oh, we've made some people angry with our camera for sure, and it's on camera as well." I always like that switch from going from a big camera to a cell phone, and they don't care, and they're trying to reprimand you for the big camera, but you're filming them with the cell, and they don't seem to care. That's the interesting thing for me. That is just it's just crazy. It's very crazy. James Salzberg says, I would love to see that. Worked at a KB and Toys R Us. Yes, I think we all would love to see some KB footage from 20 years ago. I would. I definitely would. Because back then, we didn't know the toy stores were going to be gone. You know what I mean? We took them for granted. So I'm all over that. And Logic Blaster is as well. Ted Milich is into it as well. And World Cardboard says, I second it. We must digitize that footage. Be fun. There you go. There you go. There you go. All right. Well, guys, I gave you a little bit of extra time here, so I'm going to start wrapping up now. I really appreciate each and every one of you being here. It's one of our most jam-packed Monday streams we've ever had. Not just with news, but with people. And that's what it's about. It's about community. And I love hanging out with you guys. I look forward to every Monday night. And I always get nervous because I want to make sure that every show is good for you guys. Because although it's therapeutic for me, I want it to be entertaining for you. So, as always, may your card backs be straight, may your grinds be merry, and may you be able to find anything you're looking for at any given time at a price you feel is reasonable. I love you guys very much. I'll see you very, very soon on Thursday for a video premiere. Take care. I love you. I'm leaving. For real this time. I'm not kidding.